So you have a couple options when it comes to turtle, okay? But I'm gonna tell you right now, one of the probably most effective ways that I've ever started doing this was with a rotation, okay, where I can actually sit and focus on catching one arm as opposed to kicking over the head. Now there's a couple different ways that we can apply this. One of the hardest things to do, I think, frankly, is to go from a position where like you're like this and you've got one leg inside and you're trying to hit the turtle. You always wind up in a face down armbar, always. Face down armbars being my preferred way of finishing. I love the face down armbar, but I can tell you right now that we would not be able to work on that for a month and it'd be something anybody's confident with, or confident with rather. Okay, face down armbars are just really, really difficult. They require a whole lot of discipline in order to get where you finish them. The difference being is that you have to make sure that you adhere to the rules, okay? So a lot of you guys, we talked about this in the first class. Let me come right back to your back real quick. I'm gonna show something quick. We talked about this in the first couple classes of this week and today. Maintaining the orientation between the knee. Now it's hyper important when you're hitting them from any position other than like the mount, okay, that you be even more vigilant on maintaining the orientation between the knees. So your standard place we've been working is hitting them from the mount, right? This is kind of how we would wind up in a mounted armbar. We're gonna wind up in some different places elsewhere. But the main thing is making sure that your legs are super, super tight. So I tell everybody is turn the toes in, keep them pointed in. Try to cross your toes over the top of each other because that gives you some perspective on where your knees would be. If you turn your toes out, what happens to your knees? They go outboard. We see this a lot. If you keep them parallel, your knees are not as tight as they could possibly be. So we start worrying about hitting face down arm bars because they're defending and you're rolling all over the place, you know, like a rat in a trap and you're trying to catch them. It's very important that our knees stay super tight at all times. It's even more important we start hitting them from places other than like mount, okay? Because it's not going to be picture perfect. So from from turtle, got an interesting way that I like to hit these, okay? So I've told you guys that we like to work from the back. I don't like to get super far over the top and I like to have underhooks. Okay, so this is one that just about anybody of any body type can kind of hit, and it's going to give me an option to take them backwards instead of winding up in a face down armbar. Okay, so we have an option here from turtle as well. If we're just focusing on trying to stay on top, that's one thing, but when we get ready to actually try to submit, we got a couple options here. So what I'm going to do is this right leg is going to be my guider, and I'm going to kind of just roll down him. It's hard to explain, but I'm just going to kind of roll down his body. So the first part of this, we're going to grab the belt. Now we've got the gi, we're going to switch, and we're going to come this direction, and we're going to stop. And I know that seems like it's looks very easy. It's not, it's very complicated. We will get the movement. Okay, so hand's going to go in right here. Right knee is going to come in. I'm going to roll down the body and I'm going to sit right here. And what do you think my target is? Doop, 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 doop. Hold on. Okay. It's this arm right here. Now, am I maintaining some semblance of control over the guy? Absolutely. It's a quick switch. Often I'll play on the collar and I'm staying back and they're trying to figure out which way I'm going to go. It's important that I maintain control of the belt though, because what I don't want is for him to roll forward. All right, so I'm right here, I'm solid, staying back. With the collar, it's a little bit easier. Okay, no gi, it's gonna be more dynamic. That's why we're doing this in the gi right now. So from here, the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post off of the body, leg is gonna turn in, and I'm gonna spin, and now I'm focusing on this arm. Over rotation is very real, but notice this leg is way out because if this leg kicks out, what is he tempted to do right here?
Right.
Tempted to grab. And if he grabs, what did he just do? Okay, he just gave me the lockup. So he's not gonna know what's happening here because we're kind of turning this back into a racetrack. So first thing we're gonna do here, I'm gonna grab with the right hand. If I'm going on the right side, whatever side I'm circling to, that hand has to have the belt and it's gonna stay there. Don't grab this way and try to spin. Belt, collar, spin, step around and sit. Let's just loop through and catch right here and stop. Okay? So we're here, 1, 2, let's loop through. Okay? Here, 1, 2. Let's loop through. We got it? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. We've been here a number of times. This is pretty common. Okay? What we want to do here is we want to enter into this armbar submission without like having to give up position as best as possible. Let's look at this in terms of riskiness, okay? If I pop up, yes, I'm taking some weight off of him. He might be able to shoulder roll, he might be able to turtle, or he might be able to get out of turtle, but at least that way I'm not down on the bottom and he's on top until I've actually gotten into a submission, okay? I want to try to keep my weight over the top of him. That's why I prefer going to these. Now this right here, I have no problems in telling you this all came from just hours and hours of studying Rafa Mendez's approach to arm bars from topside. He always does a hip switch. Now, very rarely when I'm attacking turtle will you see me attack turtle traditionally anymore. I will not stay right here. I will not do anything as far as trying to put my hooks in from the turtle position right here. Very rarely do I do that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start right here. Notice I'm leaning into him, got my weight into him. Okay, both hands are gonna come here. There's gonna be a switch. This leg is coming in and we're gonna spin. Okay, so I'm here and you're gonna do it on that. That's all you're doing on that side. Hands come here, boom. I drive my hip into him and I'm gonna catch this arm. So we're back down, leaning into him, boom, I'm gonna catch. Boom, I'm gonna catch. Boom, I'm gonna catch. Now how does it look full speed? Boom, catch, down we go, and we're gonna finish. Whoops. Okay, let's get it. 1, 2, 3. Woo, there you go. Do it again, Falcon. Do it again, kiddo. Let me see again. These advanced kids tearing it up. Pop, switch, go around, catch that arm. Beautiful, baby, beautiful. Let's go, monster. Jump in there, boom, switch, boom. That is it. Kick over the head, lay back. Hey, hey. Good. Nice, nice. 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 Why can we not just go the opposite direction? Beautiful. You can. You do. It happens a lot, right? You don't have to go rotate this way. My reason for rotating this way is going to be completely based off of where I'm at. If I'm all the way around the backside like this and I want to get there quicker, boom, there it is. I can go that direction, okay? The question was, well, if I'm here, I have to bring this knee in and spin backwards, or if I'm right here, can I just step here and sit and get there the same direction? Absolutely, you can. The reason I like to go the opposite direction is because if I end up over-rotating, the angle that I come in, if he moves, secondary attempt is what? Back. Look at the angle the insertion happens with the hooks. So hard to get your hooks in when you're trying to attack like this. Okay? When you try to come around and then come back down in. When you wind up getting here, your hooks are high and you're working your way backwards. Where do the hooks naturally go? Okay, so we want to go backwards. Okay? So now, here's what we're going to do. Okay? You have 15 minutes this entire time. We're going to be working here. All right? We're going to start in our control position right here. I want you to start in the backside. You can't have any grips underneath. You can have a belt grip. You can have a collar grip. Now this is kind of co-op. Needs to be a little bit co-op here. Because when you first start, your partner can hit an aggressive shoulder roll and this whole drill is done. Kills it. So what we're looking for is to maintain pressure, all right, and to hit those backside spins and lock up on this arm. I will consider it a win for you if you legitimately catch somebody, like if you legitimately step over and get to here and get to like this. Even if they grip, this is considered a win, okay? We'll work out the rest of the nonsense on the finish a little bit later. If you can get this backwards, roll them out of turtle and get that arm extended, Consider that a win, okay? Now over rotations. We're here, and I over rotate to this side. Who's to say I can't just keep on spinning and go this direction? Absolutely I can. You'll start to see more angles the more you get familiar with this. If you over rotate, okay, boom, and I get here and I've over rotated, watch what happens. My favorite armbar. When I hit this, I always like stand up and beg for somebody to say something, right? Because I expect to be acknowledged for hitting this. Even though I'm a black belt, I still don't hit it very often, so it's like grandstanding for me. I want somebody to acknowledge me here when I do this. Rarely it happens. Here, all the way around, and this shin is going to go over the back of the head, and watch where we end up. There's the catch, there's the roll through, and there's the finish. Beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, there it is. I'm getting the hand over here, right? You can hit that. So if you hit something crazy like that and they want to roll through, stick with it. Let's see where you wind up. Let's get used to rolling through these a little bit, okay? Somebody tell me, now that you see where we're going here, what is the next evolution of what we will have to start working on naturally? Hurdle. No. To finish. What do you think we actually necessarily have to work naturally to next? Face down. Face down is the next evolution of this. Have to learn to finish face down. Close? Okay. A little bit of co-op here. You got the full 15 minutes of class to finish with this. All right. If you want to stop your last 5, get you a little roll in, that's fine, but I really want to focus on working on this situation. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Are you going to switch us?